Hello, everybody. Welcome into the NSRA Sunday Select Series Season 11 Championship race. Haven't got gridded up just yet. Going to get a little pre-race action here. See if we can't get a couple interviews from a couple of your Championship 4. Try to hit them all throughout the night. And then, of course, waiting to see who is going to be crowned Season 11 champion at the end of this race. Appreciate everybody tuning in. You are watching Austin Green on Ghost Racing Network. Looks like here most of the field has qualified at this point. But you see we got 56 seconds left. So on that note, let's see if we can get the first of your 4 playoff drivers in here, and that is Mr. Michael Triscaro. Hey, Michael, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. How you doing?
Well, I'm good, man, but I'll tell you what, it's championship night. First question, how are the nerves feeling right now?
Definitely a little nervous, man. Not going to lie. First league championship I'm going for, but got a good pep talk by Cody and Eagle, so feeling pretty hyped up. Just going to kind of settle down, lock in, and clog some laps with my teammates, man, and that's all I can do at this point.
Well, it certainly is. Now, the road to get here, it's been pretty wild, right? I mean, we kind of expected a couple more of the Limitless guys to be in here, but here you are, your rookie season, you find yourself making that playoff appearance, and now all of a sudden you find yourself in the Championship 4. Do you feel like the underdog or the favorite coming into tonight?
Man, I feel like I'm the favorite. We got the best team out here, and we're locked and loaded for tonight. I've obviously run a lot of super speedway money races, so race with some guys that are really, really good. So not that guys aren't in here that are in here aren't good, but those guys we run with weekly on the money races are really good. So I'm looking forward to tonight, man. Thanks for broadcasting this one. I'm gonna try to bring this PGR 34 to victory lane.
All right, well, we'll be keeping an eye on you. We'll see if you can get the job done. Appreciate you talking to us, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
That was Michael Triscaro. We'll see if we can get a couple more words from a couple more drivers here after we go over some of your pre-race festivities. So let's get started with your race info here tonight. Going to finish things off for the season back at Talladega Superspeedway, the longest track at all in NASCAR, 2.65 miles. The total length here around 1 lap for Talladega, 104 degrees. Going to be the starting track temp tonight, 69 degrees, weather outside, cloudy skies. Winds at 2 miles an hour. It's the Levy Designs Championship race presented by Les Levy. We are back in the Xfinity Series as always. Going to be 80 laps at 50% fuel, unlimited tires. Everybody going to have those 2 fast repairs. It is fixed setups, and if we need them, we do have 2 green-white checkers to use. Taking a look at your starting grid here for the night, it is going to be Cody Nagels, one of Michael Triscaro's teammates, getting the pole. Vicente Guerrero to his outside in second. Tom Dixon and Dean Wilkinson making up row number 2 with Dawson Wise back in 5th. Paul Servin in 6th with Michael Triscaro in 7th. The highest qualifying of your Final 4 drivers. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. Dana Osborne back in 8th. Robert Jordan 9th. And Adam Kilday rounding out your top 10 here to start the night. Row 6 will be Les Levy and David Overstreet. Robert Morrison in 13th with Alex Giffen in 14th. Larry Dickerson starts 15th. He has Brian Kaufman behind him to his outside, in 16th. Dusty Burkhart and Nick Biddy going to be making up row 9. Bubba Winningham in 19th. Russ Hancock rounding out your top 20. Joe Divide starts 21st. It's going to be George Rincon in 22nd. Len McNeese 23rd with Mike Carivo in 24th. Dean Viney 25th. And Anthony English rounding out the field tonight. He will roll off 26th. And here we go. Looks like everybody's got the engines fired, so we will get rolling. 80 laps tonight. Talk about it's the same distance as what we normally see, but telling you what, the pace at the end of this race is going to pick up like nothing we have seen before. Don't forget about last season. Cody Nagels pulling off one of the most insane comebacks during that overtime. He's not in the championship for this season. We got some new guys, most likely going to have ourselves a new champion. We got a second rookie in the field with Larry Dickerson. I want to see if we can pull Larry up here for a quick word from him as well before we get into the race. Hey, Larry, this is Austin up at the booth. You got a copy?
Got you loud and clear.
All right, man. Well, again, just as we talked to Michael Triscaro, you guys are both 1 for 1 your first season and your first championship 4 appearance. How you feeling for tonight?
It's a little nerve-wracking. I'm not the best qualifier, but just try to do the best we can and put myself in a position there to be at the end and do whatever we can. Me and Alex, we've been working great together since I joined over here, and if I can't win, I'm gonna do what I can to help him win it, and same way for him.
Well, the mindset that we've seen you kind of develop throughout the season is be conservative, try to earn these guys respect, and we know how far that respect can go in a race like the championship race. Do you feel like you accomplished that goal, and do you keep the same mindset here tonight, or do you have to maybe get a little bit more aggressive for what's on the line here tonight?
It's gonna be hard to tell with this big field we got. I hope I earn everybody's respect. I race everybody clean, and hopefully I have earned their respect. That's the main thing I want to do when I came in this league, and have some fun.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye. It's going to be fun to watch tonight, and we'll see if you can't bring home your first championship in your rookie season. Good luck out there tonight.
Appreciate it.
That is Larry Dickerson, driver of the number 25. Again, I can almost bet you we are going to have at least a couple cautions here tonight, and so we will get word with the other two Championship 4 drivers. But you see them highlighted in yellow on your screen. That is Alex Giffen in the 99 and Dana Osborne, the other two that made the Championship 4. And boy, we've got a good one here tonight. Here we go. Last race of the season. Season 11 championship on the line for 4 drivers. It all comes down to Talladega, who is going to take home the crown into the Geico restart zone for the first time. Green flag is in the air. Lap 1 is going to go to Vicente Guerrero for Limitless, but you can see already starting to form up 3 wide on that top line. We got a couple of takers. The man leading on the bottom, though, right now, Cody Nagels. He's getting an assist from Tom Dixon, and these couple have been working together for the last couple races. Tom, not necessarily a Limitless teammate, but again, kind of an alliance going on. One of the drivers that hopped in here about mid-season has been doing a phenomenal job, and a good qualifying effort has him in the top 4 early. Dawson Wise, 3rd in line, but on the outside, trying to surge a little bit. Paul Servant, Dana Osborne, just a couple rows behind him. Now the highest running of your Championship 4. And again, we'll talk about it all night, but keep an eye on the bright yellow numbers on your scoring pylon. We'll also have these drivers highlighted in their driver cards, etc. You won't be able to miss. And how it's going to go tonight is pretty simple. No stages, no real bonus points. Whoever finishes the highest, they're going to be your champion here tonight. And again, if you were with us last season, you remember the thriller of a finish we had. Cody Nagels, he got the job done, doesn't have the opportunity to do it again this season, but he's out here and he is going to be trying to help one guy, and that is his teammate Michael Triscaro. We talked about him in the pre-race, and he is one of our guys carrying an onboard camera for us here tonight. Man, I've seen a lot of impressive things, but for a guy, a rookie, to make a Championship 4 appearance and the speed that he's had, he's got to win already on the season. Looking for the second one here tonight. And now finds himself in 9th, but currently 1st in that battle. We'll see if he can keep it up. Still a long ways to go for Michael Triscaro, the second driver that we have carrying an onboard camera for us here tonight. Not a playoff driver, but another one of those teammates trying to help Michael Triscaro, and that is going to be Dawson Wise in the 98 machine. Came up just around short of making it to the final 4, but nonetheless, still looking for a second win on the season. Maybe could be his night. Meanwhile, 3 wide action. We'll hold off on the rest for just a moment. Those two cars on the outside continue to try to get it going. There hasn't been much working just yet. I think that middle's going to stand strong. The bottom maybe even stronger with the cool track temp that we have had so far here today. But it is Les Levy right now on the outside trying to get some momentum going with David Overstreet. Those two teammates and 2 of the veterans of the series. They are not running for the championship, but they are certainly ready to mix things up. And I'm a little surprised that nobody's jumped out to help these guys just yet. I know it's early on, but you figure 2 faster pairs in 80 laps. I think everybody's calmed down a little bit. You're going to see a lot of respect for those Championship 4, and we already talked about one of them. Let's head on over to the other 3. Dana Osborne, one of the guys we have not got a chance to talk to yet here tonight, but I have a feeling we might have the chance to at least at some point, and if not at the end of the race, because you know how strong he's going to be all day. Makes the Championship 4 appearance with a strong run last week, and he got the win in just about the most clutch way you possibly could. Back up front, we're going to have one jump out. Looks like that is the 55 has had enough of the action early. That's going to be Dean Wilkinson. Good qualifying effort for one of the rookies. Made his way to the front, but quickly going to fade back here. We'll see if he gets picked up by Levy. Nothing doing. They'll have to all hop back down and line back towards the front. Cody Nagels still leading the bottom. 5 laps complete. Remember, 50% fuel. That'll lead us to that first green flag pit stop somewhere right around lap 20. Give or take, but I know some of these guys want to see us get there, see that strategy have a chance to really pan out. And if you're Michael Triscaro, you know how good your team is at pit stops, so you're definitely trying to make the distance, save a little fuel right now. Don't push the issue. That's not what we're here to do. Paul Servant currently leading that outside line in the 3 Chevy Camaro Oreo machine. He is going to be working heavily with Dana Osborne. Found out last week just what great teammates those two are. And so if they get locked bumper to bumper, no matter who's leading, you know they're going to go to the front. Keep an eye on that duo all night as he will drop to the bottom. Looking to lead a couple more laps here at Talladega. Going further back in the field, Larry Dickerson got a chance to talk to him pre-race. Another one of the rookies, and the rookie with by far the most wins on the season, almost a handful of them. Couldn't quite get that far, but he's got, I believe, 4. It's either 3 or 4. And he's going to be looking to add another one here tonight. Alex Giffen, the final of your playoff drivers that made it to the championship for in the field tonight. The driver out of Appling, Georgia, seeing what he can do in the 99 machine. And I feel like if you had to get an underdog pick, it'd probably be Giffen here tonight. Now, as strong as he is, we've talked about any time that you're looking for a guy to try to spark a third lane, get some action going on track. He's been the man all season, but he just hasn't quite been able to put together the wins that you would expect for the runs that he's had. But you always see at least one driver out of those championship 4 that gets in on pure consistency. That's what Alex Giffen's had. That's what's got him here. And that could potentially be what gets in the championship. Remember, you don't have to win it. You just got to finish the highest. Right now, that's still Michael Triscaro currently in 7th. Dana Osborne back in 8th. Alex Giffen 13th. Larry Dickerson in 16th. But how about the action up front? The 2x2 has started to subside again as that third lane has got going. And guess who is the lead pusher? Dana Osborne in the 8 trying to get something working with David Overstreet just behind him. It's the 99 of Alex Giffen, who we were just talking about. They're going to work with the 2 as well. How about Joe Divide making another appearance here tonight? We've seen him kind of as a part-time driver throughout the season, but man, he runs strong when he does run. And they're going to be going by the lapper here of Anthony English, who I'm not sure if missed the start or had an early issue. But yeah, you see this is going to cost him a lap as he will stay on the apron. Got to believe he is probably working with the Limitless guys here tonight. Ooh, David Overstreet slipping up the track just a little bit. Dana Osborne quickly going to reset, continue pushing. Now remember, I know we talked about it in pre-race, but take a look at that track temp again. It has climbed a little bit since the race started from about 104 to 113. And the more it heats up, the more that second and third lane are going to start to roll. But right now, the inside's still showing a lot of dominance. Paul Servant has stayed in the lead and not even had to control lanes much. Thanks to the assist from Cody Nagels and Vicente Guerrero. How about Brian Kaufman in the 01 in the middle? He's still pushing hard, but you can see some of the guys starting to dice around. A lot of fishtailing. Dana Osborne back and forth across the rear bumper of David Overstreet, but that big push allows the 46 to get clear. The 8 can't follow. Now Kilday gets bottled up behind Overstreet. He has to check up as Brian Kaufman arrives on the scene. And look at the gap in the middle. A lot of separation right now between some of these guys. Dawson Wise so far not been able to pull up to the back bumper of Brian Kaufman. I think he's working on it as we speak. But we saw an update in the Xfinity package just over a week ago, maybe a little bit less than a week ago, if you will. And the racing since we saw it last Tuesday has been absolutely phenomenal. But you look back here, Michael Triscaro, you see him backing up. I think he doesn't really like what he sees up front right now. I think he's trying to play it a little bit conservative, maybe back it down for now. Play it safe. He wants to be around for the end of this race. Go back towards the front. Let's take a look at the speeds that these guys got here tonight. Adam Kilday getting a big shove as he now leads the middle. Overstreet got clear to the bottom. He took it up top. It's the 8 of Dana Osborne. And look at Kilday with a big surge from Brian Kaufman, 193 miles an hour down into turn number 3 as we have now completed an 8th of this race. 10 laps down, 10 more to go before the first green flag pit stop. And the 3-wide action took about 5 laps to get going. And it has not stopped since. Jess Vaught in the chat says, good luck, Larry, in the 25, followed by this is Lori. We appreciate you tuning out, Lori. And Larry Dickerson got some fans rooting him on tonight. He's going to have some help. We talked about the 25. When I said it pre-race, I wasn't just saying it to put words together. Larry Dickerson, he said it the first time we got to talk to him in the booth, and he stuck by it. made sure that he was conservative, didn't put anybody in bad positions, made sure that he could earn some of these guys' respect, and by doing so, he still found a way to over 4 wins already, or 3 wins on the season, and has also earned some respect that might help him greatly here at the end of this race. Maybe work with a guy that's not necessarily a teammate, but remembers a little bit of help that they got from the 25 earlier this season in one of the races. Take a ride on board here with the 32 of Nick Biddy from the roll bar. Cam currently sits about 4 spots back on the outside line. A lot of dicing up front right now, nothing he can do. And, you know, we talk about that it's a championship race, but it's still a race and you can still win it. And so a lot of these guys that have maybe not got a win on the season or are just looking for one more on the season, tonight's your night. All chips on the table as long as it does not affect the championship 4. By the way, anybody watching in chat, please let me know if all the audio and everything sounds okay tonight. I want to make sure we have these guys all set up for the finish of this 80-lap event. 212 miles the distance we have went all season at Talladega. Format next season going to be a little different. Talk more about that here later in the race, but right now, the battle still intense at the front. Adam Kilday now trying to lead a couple laps. Brian Kaufman to his outside leading the middle. But how about up top? It's the 28 of George Rincon. Not sure if this is his first start. And if it's not, it's been a little while since we've seen it. But the 28, again, guess who's the lead pusher? Dana Osborne, Alex Giffen working really well together up top. And if they can get that 28 clear, then that would put 2 of your championship 4 drivers in the front, 2 rows on the outside. A lot of different approaches. Osborne and Giffen aggressive. Dickerson as well. Michael Triscaro, the complete opposite. He has decided to play conservative, has dropped all the way back to that 23rd position, a second and a half behind the leaders. But he does have a couple guys that are working with him. Tom Dixon, Anthony English in the vicinity. There's Dusty Burkhart, the 43 of Robert Morrison. Looks like he's got a different look tonight. Good-looking paint scheme for the 43 car. And all of a sudden, Giffen, along with the 28, both got clear. Dana Osborne as well. Man, the middle must have disintegrated all of a sudden in about a half a lap span. And with all 3 of those drivers getting clear, Osborne decided to go all the way to the bottom. George Rincon stuck the middle. Alex Giffen decided to stay with him. And while they pull Brian Kaufman, it's Larry Dickerson now trying to work the outside. He's getting some help from Len McNeese in the 84. As we take a look, the TV follow cam. About 14 laps. I say when we probably tick off maybe 2 more laps from now, I think you're going to have to start seeing guys maybe think about probably starting to get down into the inside line, right? You can only make pit stops from the inside. You could try it from the outside. I've tried it before, but I'm going to tell you it's never worked, and I don't see it working tonight. And these teams are going to pit together. They don't want to drag any extra weight with them if they don't have to, but watch out. Pit road here, very tricky. These guys have to go all the way down from about 190 miles an hour down to about 45 miles an hour in just the span of probably about 500 yards or so, coming off of 4 all the way to the entrance of the pits. And so now you're seeing the 3 wide just about gone, decimated if you will. And the 28 of George Rincon is leading the top. Dana Osborne on the bottom. And further back, that single file line continues to get longer. Everybody's starting to stretch it out a little bit. And towards the back, Limitless guys have actually fallen back even further. Again, I think they're trying to stick with Michael Triscaro, but he's even got to look up a little way before he'll find Vicente Guerrero, Dawson Wise, and Cody Nagels all right around the top 10 region. Len McNeese, he's on the move right now. So is Brian Kaufman and Alex Giffen, but it's George Rincon, the biggest mover in the field. He is up 20 spots from where he started this race at with only the 15 laps completed. And now, how about Giffen jumping back to the outside? Larry Dickerson thought he was referring to Alex when he said we were good together. But it looks like he's not going to cut Giffen any breaks here. Alex will stay stuck to the outside. Now George Rincon is going to jump up to the top after the 85 of Adam Kilday jumped up to make a move. Osborne still on the bottom. And Giffen will quickly jump down the line behind Larry Dickerson. You wonder if another move will be made or if the 99 was just getting hot and maybe had to bail out of it. And so they stay 3 wide, but with no help, George Rincon, he is going to go to the back of the train as it stands right now. When we cross the line this time, it will be 17 laps completed. Still gearing up for those pit stops. And I don't even want to go to break yet because I am so curious to see if these guys can make it. And as aggressive as the entire season is, when you get to the final 4, you want to win the race. But if you're not one of the championship 4, there's just kind of that respect that comes as a racer to just keep things clean. Let it be a battle between the championship 4 guys. And if things fall into your lap, then that's where you take advantage of the opportunity. But right now, leading your championship for battle, if the race finished right now, Dana Osborne would be crowned your champion. Larry Dickerson runs in second in that battle. He's back in fifth. Alex Giffen third. He's back in ninth. Then Michael Triscaro, who we talked about, just staying conservative right now, all the way back in 23rd. He is hoping if these guys decide to pile up, he is nowhere in the vicinity. Can miss it to continue on. Going back to the fan cam. Ooh, looks like we almost had a move further back up to the top. But there you go. Only 3 cars remaining on the top. They keep shuffling down, expecting those pit stops. And probably about 3 laps when they cross the line this time. You either are going to want to go coming to lap 20 or lap 20 coming to lap 21. So we'll go ahead and actually call it, 2 or 3 laps here is when they're going to pit. So now it's just Larry Dickerson and Brian Kaufman on the outside further back. Looks like, is that Anthony English maybe trying to work his way through the field here a little bit? I thought it was. It's not. It's actually going to be even further up than that, the 44. Actually, it is Anthony English. I forgot he went a lap down, so that's why it's not scored him where he is. But, again, if English here could get to the front, maybe catch a lucky break, get his lap back the hard way, don't have to worry about getting the lucky dog. But that's exactly what he's trying to do here. Maybe he's got more fuel than these guys, so he's trying to get all the way to the front or at least drop in line where he can get a spot. And you see Vicente Guerrero, the man that he's coming up on next. Brian Kaufman still on the outside. We got a couple more on the outside, even further back as well. Michael Triscaro, Robert Morrison, both going to tandem together here. They're going to try to go to the front. And you see this move here a lot in money racing, not so much in league racing, but it's a really good move that we're seeing right here from Michael Triscaro and Robert Morrison. You know this group's going to pit. You can make up a lot of time by jumping to the outside, and by him sitting back for the early portion of this run, it gave him that extra fuel that he needed to be able to make a charge to the front late in the fuel run. It's exactly what he's doing right here. He'll go by Joe Divide and Nick Biddy down the Alabama gang back straightaway. And so here we go, coming off of 4. This is the lap that we are going to watch for the first group of pit stops. Jess Vaught in the chat says, sounds great. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much, Jess, and glad you are enjoying it. So here we go. Who makes the first move this time or next time off of 4? Do we get any takers? Yes, we do. Here comes Kilday, and he's going to bring down a whole lot more. Dana Osborne trying to stay aggressive. A little lockups out back. Does everybody get in clean? So far, so good. And yes, they do. The tires not quite as worn as they'll be in the later portions of the race, but nicely done. I mean, that's probably about 20 cars or so. And everybody gets in without any sort of hiccup. Getting into the box, don't slide past your pit sign. Make it nice and clean. Ooh, Joe Divide, you see he's the first guy that makes a little bit of a mistake right there. Dana Osborne with the highest of the pit stalls, I believe, of any of your championship 4. So as he waits to leave his box, there he goes. He's not going to win the race out. Adam Kilday does. He gets second, Overstreet in third. And now this group trying to get back up to speed. The leaders, the Limitless guys, a different strategy. Watch them to come in this time. Kaufman fades back, but it's going to be Anthony English. We'll see if he decides to go down as well. He sure enough does. Dawson Wise is going to dive all the way to the inside. Can all of these guys get in as clean as the first group did? Oh, Robert Morrison getting a little hot. So is Dawson Wise. Big lockup on the 43, but he keeps it under him. He'll be able to get down to speed. Dixon and Kaufman in the back as well make it in. And so 2 groups of very substantial size make clean pit stops, and we'll see if anybody gets out. Oh, no, Larry Dickerson looks like getting into his pit. He must have made a mistake and got a speeding penalty. As you saw right there, the 25 was just now leaving, so that's a mistake for one of your championship 4 drivers early. As now you see Robert Jordan making some trouble here. He is still struggling, has not been able to get into his pit box just yet. I think he finally did. That's going to cost him time and ultimately this pack. As we take a look, there's some of the guys from the group that already pit. Robert Jordan finally able to come out, but he's got all sorts of struggles now. He's going to spin it. As Robert Jordan, will that draw the caution? So far it doesn't, and oh, man, he's just going to immediately tow it. Tough break for Robert Jordan as the last of the guys who have not pit yet comes in, and that is Joe Divide, unless he got a penalty here. Yeah, I think he may have. So as we go back up front, the first 2 off are Nagels and Anthony English, who is not on the lead lap, followed by Vicente Guerrero. And there's the group of guys that already pit. Looks like right now being led by Adam Kilday in the 85, Dana Osborne second, Overstreet third, and Paul Servant fourth. And now you start to wonder, how do all these guys kind of merge together? All these bridge cars help to kind of pull that draft from maybe 2, 3, 4 drafts into one big draft. And I think that second group is within range where eventually, maybe about 5 laps or so, we'll see all these guys catch up. And that's when the racing will resume. Next pit stop going to be expected right around lap 40. We are going to take our first break of the night. We will go side by side so you don't miss a thing. Adam Kilday leading and Dana Osborne leading the championship right now at Talladega. front. Now we're going to see a little four wide action.
Crazy out of the triangle.
Oh, he gets in the lead under Reckon.
3 by 3 entering 4.
3 deep.
Blocked.
At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning it at Talladega. Back live at Talladega Superspeedway for the Levy Designs Championship race in Season 11 for the NSRA Sunday Select Series. Still leading is Adam Kilday, just as he was before we went to break. We saw a couple pit penalties, couple mistakes, most notably Robert Jordan spinning on exit. And then, of course, Larry Dickerson with the speeding penalty, which has now landed him a lap down and not in the lucky dog position. Him and Anthony English both battling for that as it stands. And they're both bumper, just about bumper to bumper, one car separating. That's Dean Wilkinson in the 55. So if either one of these guys makes a mistake or decides to make a move, we could see that switch pretty quickly. Vicente Guerrero in tow in this lead pack as well. But let's go ahead and break down these packs a little bit right here. This first pack going all the way back right now to, looks like Cody Nagels, who I think him and Vicente Guerrero are playing a little bit of games right here. And this is something that we don't see often, but this is what you do to pull a draft up. Look how close Dawson Wise is. And so Cody Nagels, Vicente Guerrero just kind of extending the back of that lead draft, allowing the second draft to catch up quicker. And you see that now that Dawson Wise has pulled within a second and a half of the back of that lead draft, these guys are going to pull up, no questions asked. It's just a matter of time, and they're going to get there probably this lap. Third draft right now is being led by the 16th place car of Len McNeese. That contains Nick Biddy, Mike Carrevo, Dusty Burkhart, Bubba Winningham. We haven't had a chance to talk about Bubba too much yet tonight, but I think we're going to see him in contention. Almost made the Final Four appearance. Unfortunately, just a lot of bad luck last week allowed him to not quite advance, but well, he's been strong all season. Another one of the veterans that you knew would go deep into the playoffs, and he did not disappoint. So this draft, trying to catch that draft just in front that we saw was two drafts, now become one draft. And looking at the gap right now from Len McNeese to Robert Morrison, it's about 4.8 seconds. And bad news for Len McNeese is it doesn't appear that they're catching as it stands right now. So going to need a caution or some sort of help if they want to get there. Back up front, the battle is on for the lucky dog. Ooh, almost a mistake right there from, I believe that was David Overstreet in the 46. He got really out of shape, had to go below the yellow out of turn number 4. He's able to save it. He'll keep going as the 85 of Adam Kilday crosses the line. That makes it 28 of 80 laps now complete. I think the reason you are seeing Larry Dickerson try so desperately to push Dean Wilkinson up to the front as he now sits in fourth is because he wants to get in front of Anthony English. If these guys wreck right now and neither of them were involved, he would get that lucky dog. Of course, getting back on the lead lap earlier, the better. They're going to be coming up on some more lap traffic here in just a moment. It looks like as Dean Viney, I believe is going to be the next one up. Actually, no, I take it back. That'll be Robert Jordan, as he's going to lose another lap after that mistake that he had on the pits. And remember, 74 does have a win on the season. Just a little bit of a rough night so far here tonight. Was able to make a good clean stop with the team until it came to getting into his box. That's where the trouble started, and then sometimes you get thrown off your rhythm. And so we saw the second mistake, of course, with the spin out of pit road. So up front, you got Kilday leading, Dana Osborne leading the championship battle. He's pushing Adam Kilday, but now the outside line has formed up and is well noticeable. The 55 of Dean Wilkinson has the 25 of Larry Dickerson and the 2 of Joe Divide. As they go down the Alabama Gang Super Stretch, this is where you see the momentum really start to shift. The outside, it's got a good run, 192 miles an hour for Wilkinson, 191 for Kilday. Is that couple miles an hour enough? It's not. The 55 will have to stay on the outside, and now is when it becomes a battle of who can push better and who's got temps that they can push with for longer. Talked about the track temp. Boy, it has been changing all through the day, and I think it's playing a little effect on these cars, the way they handle and which line is rolling the best. We saw it get up over 110 degrees at one point. Now back below what it started at, down to 102 degrees. And so handling really good, and the inside going to roll right now as you see kind of the, I don't know if I want to call it heavy cloud cover, but it's enough to be affecting just about the entire track right now. Still have not seen these guys drive back into the sun. We'll see how long it lasts. And here you go. Let's back this up. There's David Overstreet running the Charlie Brown Christmas paint scheme. Be a cool scheme to get in victory lane tonight. I didn't even realize Overstreet was running that. But with 30 laps now complete, the next question starts to become, when will the next pit stop take place? Here's a 3-wide move on the 55 of Dean Wilkinson. Not sure if he wanted to go to the back or if he got split, but that's exactly where he's going with no help. He'll drop in just behind the 343 car of Russ Hancock. And looking like moving to the bottom will be the 28 of George Rincon, who we saw him at the front a couple times here so far tonight. So we keep talking about the lead pack as well. Well, right now, as it stands, you see Nick Biddy now has fallen back to this second pack. Well, actually, he's been in it. Just looks like they've swapped positions. Robert Jordan, who is currently, I believe, 2 laps down, sits just behind Tom Dixon. He's another one of the drivers hoping for a caution here soon to either potentially get a wave around or potentially the lucky dog if everybody else was involved in the accident. But yeah, it looks like it's put him 3 laps down. Sun coming back out. Watch, ladies and gentlemen, just how quickly this track temp goes back up. It's 102 now in a couple laps. Not be surprised if it's back over 110. But we talked about Kilday leading, and look how quickly they're getting back single file. They were just starting to go 3 wide. Looked like some of the championship guys were ready to start dicing things up. Quickly thought better of it, and right now, only 2 of your championship 4 running in the top 10. It's Osborne and Giffen. Michael Triscaro back in 14th, but he is still in this lead pack, and he does have some guys around him that he can work with, including that 411 car of Tom Dixon. Just behind them, the 71 here. The night he wanted so far, Dean Viney finally lost that lap that we talked about was coming sooner or later without a caution. Larry Dickerson, though, he is trying everything. He is praying for a caution right now, as he is the only one of your championship 4 that got caught with a penalty in that first round of pit stops. And as a result, he lost that lap, but continues to work on the outside, trying everything, trying to get some help from any of these guys to see if he can get back to the front. Right now, let's actually go take a ride on board here with Larry Dickerson. And you have to go pretty far back right now, as again, just talked about, he's really not gotten any help, so he's fallen back even further than he wanted to in this line. Currently sitting about 4 cars back, and that's what we talk about the outside. Just not really rolling right now. They're trying to get things going. His track temp in just that lap already rose back 3 degrees, but Paul Servant, if he jumped out, maybe that helps the 25, or he's going to need a bit more of a push. Right now, Joe Divide doing all he can. There you go. There's the back bumper shot that he needs. That'll give this outside a little bit of a surge of momentum down the back straight away, as he'll now draw even with David Overstreet up front, though. Osborne just putting on a clinic with the pushing he's doing to Adam Kilday. Just as I say that, though, he's maybe starting to get a little out of shape. You saw him bump the apron, come up, had to correct the car a couple times right there to get it back in check, but he's able to do so. Continue on without any further issue. Alex Giffen back in 9th, currently sitting, appears to be pretty comfortable in this pack. Doesn't have too much action going on at the moment. Seems to be just coasting, so let's see if he wants to give us a quick word right now. Hey, Alex, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Austin, how you doing, man?
Good. Well, I figured I'd grab you while things look a little bit calm before the storm. First off, you find yourself in the lead pack here, 34 laps complete. How you feeling about the way the pace of the race has gone so far?
Pretty good right now. Pretty good.
Well, I'll tell you what, we know that the next pit stop's coming up soon, but we heard about a couple guys you might be working with tonight. Who should we watch for, and what's going to be the strategy here for the rest of the race to try to capture this first championship?
Honestly, man, I have no idea. I'm staying with the pack. As soon as the leaders break, I'm breaking. I do got a couple friends. We got a plan for later on and see what happens.
Well, I see action starting to pick up, so I won't distract you any longer. I appreciate you giving us a quick word. Good luck the rest of the way. We'll see if we're talking to you at the end of this thing.
Yes, sir.
All right, there you go. Alex Giffen talked about decent qualifying effort, good run early. Boy, he sounds pretty calm, cool, and collected. For somebody that's running for a championship right now, nobody going to have a chance to go back-to-back. Again, Cody Nagels was trying to make it 3 in a row, but it's not going to happen. And, you know, everybody loves a new championship winner, and you know it's going to mean so much to whoever gets the job done here tonight. And I'll tell you what, we got a driver camp for one of them, and if Michael Triscaro gets it done, this view right here, take a look at his expression now and have a comparison by the end of this thing. He is going to be going crazy. I can tell you from his reaction last week when he knew that he got secured into the Final Four. So I can only imagine what it would mean to him if he could capture it here tonight. Larry Dickerson still fighting hard, the only man on the outside. He's just doing whatever he can at the moment to stay in front of Anthony English. He has to. He doesn't have a choice right now. It doesn't matter if he has to pit sooner. He's a lap down, so if he cannot get the lucky dog, it's not going to matter. But here you go. He was able to find a spot in line just in front of Joe Divide, so that puts him in front of Anthony English. Never mind. Does not. English moved up further than I thought he did. And so there you go. Anthony English right now looks to be about 5th in this line. And that puts Larry Dickerson just behind him. So we'll see if he decides to try to make another move or stays put. But 37 laps complete. It's going to be 38 when we cross the line. That means we are expecting pit stops. Again, right around lap 40. The Limitless guys went a lap later. They might be able to go 40 to 41. Just have to see how everything decides to play out. So far in this race, Brian Kaufman, technical difficulty. He has exited the track, it appears, after a strong run early. Robert Jordan with the mistake on the pits ultimately has landed him 3 laps down at the moment. Dean Viney has fallen a lap down. So has Joe Divide, Larry Dickerson, and Anthony English. 20th on up. Len McNeese currently the last car on the lead lap. All fighting, but still hoping for a caution. As you see right now, they stand about a quarter of a track back from your leaders. And we talked about that gap last time was about, I would say about 4.8 seconds. We can call it 5 if you want. But here you go. Nick Biddy leading the second pack. It's now extended to 12.6 seconds back. So just not looking like that second group has really made up any time. And again, more of that reason that they are just hoping for a caution at this point. Taking a look here at Dawson Wise, again, one of our drivers carrying an onboard cabin. For the people at home that don't know, one of the broadcasters that we see in many of the different series, whether it be money racing, leagues, OP, and of course driver here. He's got all the talent in the world and both sides of it. But here tonight, trying to help his teammate Michael Triscaro and see if he can capture his second win of the season. Back up front, here we go. Pit stops are underway. Going to be the first group. Who all comes in? Right now, it's only Kilday. Was leading, maybe not the best thing. Dean Wilkinson slides, locks up all 4 tires behind, but it looks like he was able to get down to speed. Yeah, this does seem about a lap early for these guys, but again, Kilday had led just about every single lap of that green flag run, and when you're the leader, you burn more fuel. So you got to wonder if that's part of this, but that might bite him in the back end of this next one. We'll see if he drops back and saves. He's only got one man to work with, and he's got to hope that him and Dean Wilkinson don't make any mistakes if they want to come out together. Further back, Nick Biddy, Dusty Burkhart, and Mike Karevu from the second pack. Looks like they have all decided to pit as well. And so Kilday will lead him back out again. Dean Wilkinson second, and back up front. Will we see some more pit stop? Here comes the pack roaring. I think we certainly will. There you go. Osborne, Overstreet, and company are all going to peel off. The Limitless guys decide to stay out. And is everybody getting clean? Overstreet trying to get in a little bit hotter. This time he's okay. Paul Servant with a lockup. Dickerson maybe with some contact to the back of Servant. But yet again, everybody able to keep it clean so far for this second round of pit stops. Very impressively done. Oh, we got some contact further back right there. Russ Hancock and Alex Giffen got together. That hinders Giffen a little bit from getting to his box. As you saw, Dickerson overshot a little bit right there. But it looks like they're going to get in okay. A couple of these guys taking 2 tires, a couple of them taking none. And Larry Dickerson's going to get out a little slow. They really need to try to hang with this pack here to have a chance as leading the battle off. This time it'll be Dana Osborne, followed by Paul Servant and David Overstreet. And look for the final group to pit right here. Here come the Limitless guys led by Vicente Guerrero off of 4. And sure enough, they're going to duck below the yellow line. Their second round of green flag stops. Trying to get in clean. Ooh, Dixon getting in hot. Oh, Vicente maybe got turned there. What a save. He straightens it out before they make it. Now they're 4 wide. Michael Trisquero in the middle of it. You got to be careful right here. Everybody's got to get down to their box, but it looks like they're able to do so cleanly. Michael Trisquero going to have the last of all these guys for boxes. Almost. There you go. He's going to get into his box. Does he overshoot? Oh, he does a little bit. He's got to back it up. He's going to be okay. I don't think that was too bad of an overshoot. He should be okay. Man, that contact on pit road, that scared me for just a moment. When you make a small mistake, it can certainly cost you big time. How do they all come out? Keep an eye on Michael Trisquero here. He's coming out a little bit late. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to stick with his teammates right here. As he tries to get up to speed, we go back to the pit lane cam. Keep an eye on it. There comes the group that we saw already pit. Well, a couple of them, actually the group that we already saw pit. There they go. Man, they flew out of the pits. They may have this second group beat right here. As they get out, Cody Nagels will jump up as quick as he can, but you got to wonder if the speed difference just a little bit too much as Nagels jumps up. Teammates and everybody else that pit late behind him, they're going to all have to group up, and just as they had to do on the first run, they're probably going to have to spend about half of this run trying to track down that group that pitted early. And again, it kind of works like this. Think about it this way. The guys that have pit early on both of these stops, when you pit early, you still have a little bit more fuel in the tank, so you don't have to take quite as much. The guys that were able to pit later, they ran more fuel, so they had to take more fuel, and that's what cost them maybe just a little bit of time. But then, of course, in that last pit stop, that's where, assuming that the strategy works out right, they should make that time back up, as they'll have to take less fuel, and the guys that kept pitting early will have to take even more fuel. We'll have to see if it plays out that way. Sometimes it doesn't, depending on how quick a lap certain guys can run. But, yeah, Michael Trisquero, that little mistake certainly cost him a lot more than I was initially expecting. As you see, the 34 now back behind the 28 of George Rincon. And not much he can do. It looks like Vicente Guerrero is going to fall back, jump behind his teammate, going to lend any support that he can. So as he falls back, this pack kind of sloppy and disorganized right now, but it's being led by Dawson Wise in the 98. And they are trying to catch the 74 of Robert Jordan, who's a lap down. Looks like Robert Morrison's going to have to bring it back down to the pits. He got a penalty for, I'm assuming, either unsafe pit or speeding on exit. And, may have sped on entry again right there. He came in hot. And so Nagels and Giffen are linked up. Jordan's trying to get there as well. They have got to set their sights now on Dean Wilkinson. The gap is 3.7, well, make it 3.8 seconds. And again, they have to get to about 1.5 seconds to be within draft range. You see that second pack currently running 2x2. That's not going to help their cause as this lead pack continues to run single file, nice and organized, nice and tight. But Anthony English maybe hanging back just a little bit, trying to help that second group pull any draft, but still nothing doing. Is the problem right here is that Robert Jordan has still not gotten to the back bumper of Alex Giffen and Cody Nagels. Those two will have to eventually fall back, as it looks like they finally do. And so now you wonder, is 2 wide faster than single file? Again, I don't think it's going to be. That's exactly what Larry Dickerson and Dean Viney are trying to do on the outside. So is Russ Hancock. But Cody here going to push for all he's worth. If he runs out of attempts, he runs out of attempts. It's what you got to do to have a chance. As there's Bubba Winningham. Oh, man. Looked like Bubba got a little bit tight as he was transitioning back to the banking below the apron. That was a close call, but he's getting back up to speed. You got to wonder if he had another penalty. And the night right now is going from bad to worse for Bubba Winningham, as he now finds himself 2 laps down. So he is going to add to the list of drivers hoping for a caution. Talking about guys that have either left the race or lapped down. Right now we've only had one that has had to retire from the race, but we ticked off another one, so now it's going to be 19 cars on the lead lap instead of 20. But the more important thing to focus on is the amount of cars in this lead pack, because if we somehow stay green for the entirety of this race, that is what the race will come down to. Dean Wilkinson, the last man in it, so it's going to be 6 cars that are on the lead lap in this lead pack, and then they're tacking on a couple more that are not on the lead laps. It looks like right now, I'm going to assume it's Anthony English. Yeah, you see tacking on there, maybe a couple others. not on the lead lap that are trying to work with this group and, again, hope for the caution. That second group still side by side, and it looks like they've lost a bit more time here. These guys not working together right now. You know that's got to be frustrating for any of the Championship 4 drivers that are back in this pack, including Dickerson and Michael Triscaro. Triscaro wants to get back to the lead pack, being on the lead lap, and Dickerson knows that he's going to have to get back to the lead lap if he wants a chance to get around Anthony English and ultimately fight for the lucky dog. And we talked about the gap now at 5.4 seconds. Again, continues to extend. That front pack just continuing to run absolutely blazing fast lap times. That next pit stop, though, going to be expected right around lap 60. And that will be the last expected green flag pit stop. We are going to take another side-by-side break up front. It's Adam Kilday. He has led the most laps so far tonight at Talladega. Dana Osborne leading the Championship 4. We'll be right back. Stick with us at Talladega. Front, now we're going to see a little four-wide action.
Crazy out of the trial.
Oh, he gets over into the lead under record.
3 by 3 entering 4.
3 do.
What?
At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning it at Talladega. Back live at Talladega Superspeedway for championship night here for season 11 in the NSRA Sunday Select Series. Up front, Adam Kilday still leading, but it's Dana Osborne who right now finds himself in the catbird seat. He is in front of all the other championship contenders. Make it 3 of them, and right now he is in a pack by himself, so he doesn't even have to worry about battling any of them. The big question that we've been keeping an eye on over break and while we were here is that second pack making any ground? Are they catching? Well, now Cody Nagels has taken over the lead, and it got all the way back to about 6.5 seconds, but since then it has slowly but surely started to trim down. Got down to about 6.3 where it stands now, just about the last lap, so they're ticking off a little time. What you got to wonder, though, is it going to be enough? They have 30 laps to continue tracking these guys down. Then, of course, one more green flag stop as well. But the thing you got to worry about is, again, just 2 they run out of time. Looks like Albert Anderson's in the chat. Good to see Albert. Hopefully the American 500 was at least fun. I saw things didn't work out. And then Ty says, let's go Alex Giffen. Good to see you guys tuning in here for the last 30 laps of the Levy Designs Championship race. Tell you what, I really want to get that interview with Dana Osborne, but we're going to wait because, man, he has got his hands full right now. The lead pusher, and you know he is in a stressful position. It may seem like they're riding, but that is not the case right now. Trying everything to stay in front of that second pack, and as it stands right now, I don't think we need to talk to him because if this goes the way it's going, we'll be talking to him at the end of this thing as a champion and in victory lane. If he can keep up what he has been doing all night, man, he's been aggressive all year, but it's finally starting to pay off for him. So with 51 laps completed, they're going to be coming up on a couple of lappers. This is it's kind of going to help and hurt them inversely depending on which way they decide to go. So to help them here for a moment is actually they were able to pull a little bit of draft. And so Cody Nagel's not too much of a fan of that because now they're going to have to push even harder here for the next couple laps. However, when these two cars, which it looks like it's going to be Bubba Winningham and Robert Morrison, fall back, they could potentially act as a little bit of a bridge or at least extend the total distance of that front draft and make it a little bit easier for the second draft to catch. But, man, you're going to have to nail this third pit stop, and we are expecting it here in just about 8 laps when they cross the start-finish line. This time, remember, this group will have to pit a lap earlier than that second pack, and we'll see. This is that last stop, so this is where we talked about the second pack should theoretically have to take a little bit less fuel. I'm not sure how much time that's worth, but we'll find out. But even if you're in this front pack, you got a solid lead right now. You can't throw it away with either a speeding onto the pits, getting turned onto the pits, sliding through your box, or spinning on the exit of the pits. And so I think if you're Dana Osborne, as much as you want to maintain track position, I think you maybe take it just a little bit more conservative here. Make sure that you play it safe instead of sorry. Now, important to note with this second pack is that they finally had started making some time, and yeah, they continue to make time now as they got it down to 6.2 slowly, but again, better than what they were losing, and it's because they finally got single file. And it's going to be so frustrating for all of these guys if this race goes green the rest of the way and they don't catch. Was it worth all the double file action? Remember, cars are going to run faster in a single file slipstream than they are double file, where you start to get all this turbulent air and just ultimately guys kind of side drafting each other back, stalling out momentum. So Robert Jordan, he'll jump out of line, and this is where you're seeing the coordination. I think you're seeing some of the veteran guys, such as Robert Jordan, Cody Nagels, Dawson Wise, Larry Dickerson, might be a rookie, but he knows what these guys are doing. If you get hot, don't waste time trying to cool it. Just get out of line and just continue to follow the leader. That's the best way you're going to do this. But the other thing you're going to need to do is whoever is third in that line has to be ready to get right up on the saddle and start pushing as hard as they can. That is now Dawson Wise, who's in that position. However, that transition didn't go as smoothly as they needed to. They actually lost 3/10. Just like that, they are back to where they started. Adam Kilday, though, still leading. Dana Osborne in second. Paul Servant third. David Overstreet back and forth. He's got his teammate Les Levy behind him in fifth. Dean Wilkinson sixth. Cody Nagels in seventh. Dawson Wise eighth. Tom Dixon in ninth with Michael Trisquero in 10th. Alex Giffen 11th. Russ Hancock in 12th. Vicente Guerrero in 13th. George Rincon in 14th. Mike Carrivo in 15th. Dusty Burkhart in 16th. Len McNeese 17th. Nick Biddy in 18th. Joe Divide in 19th with Anthony English rounding out your top 20. It's Robert Morrison in 21st. Larry Dickerson 22nd. Dean Viney 23rd. Bubba Winningham in 24th. Robert Jordan in 25th. It looks like he's actually bringing it down to the pits. Not sure if the 74 had some issues again. Currently, I believe 3 laps down, so this may cost him another one. And Brian Kaufman, who had to retire early on from the race, he currently sits in that 26th position. Looking at that championship battle, again, reminder for anybody just tuning in, the people, I should say the drivers, that you see highlighted in yellow with a P next to their name on that scoring tower on the left, hold your horses. Caution is out. Len McNeese with trouble here. What has happened? Dusty Burkhart appears to also be involved. Wow, heavy damage to the 84. Dusty Burkhart in the 69, he gets back rolling. How much damage has he acquired? Doesn't look like really any. It's Len McNeese that got the worst of it, and he has immediately towed it back to the pits. And man, this is not what Dana Osborne wanted to see. He knows what this means. This means things could get really crazy. First caution of the night. These guys have been doing a phenomenal job up to this point, and see what causes this caution. This was back, I believe, it's going to be in the third pack, actually. We hadn't even been really talking about these guys. But they're running single file here when we get down into turn 1. We'll go to the TV follow cam. Now, where's the trouble ensue? You see there's Len McNeese behind Dusty Burkhart, third in line. And what in the world? Man, These guys just get all out of whack by themselves. Certainly looked that way, at least. I mean, I didn't think Burkhart got a push. Go to the chopper view. So there's the 69 of Dusty Burkhart. Back that up, get a little closer right here. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't, yeah, it certainly doesn't look like Len's on his bumper. Looks like Dusty just starts to get a little out of control, getting into the corner. Goes down on the apron, and he's got 2 tires below, 2 tires above. That doesn't work too well. Gets him out of shape. Yeah, no, Len's not on his bumper. You see, he darts up in the corner, and then the car kind of darts down on him, goes below the apron, gets 2, and then gets all the way below it. Then McNeese following him, and then ultimately just kind of spins out by himself, trying to save it at this point, trying to gather it up. And that's when he's going to shoot back up the track. But, I mean, you know, honestly, Len lost it too here. Further back, when Len drifts up, even let's say Dusty Burkhart saves this, right here, Len McNeese is spun out of control. The 32 of Nick Biddy was going to miss him until Burkhart comes back up, slams it to the 84. That sends him up the track into Nick Biddy, who initially was going to miss it. So the 32 will get damaged, but yeah, it's definitely going to be the 69 and the 84 getting the worst of it. And that's just not a wreck that I see very often. I know the tires are old. I know the track temp's a little toasty, but for 2 guys to just get that out of shape, and I think Len McNeese's getting out of shape was kind of in response to what he saw with Dusty Burkhart. But let's go right on board here and see. And I'll break down. So sometimes what actually happens here in these Xfinity cars is you get a little bit too much steer in the corner on old tires, and you can get loose. But yeah, that's just that's a tough one right there, man. I got to be honest. Again, I'm not, by no means am I saying this is anything intentional, but I think he just gets a little too much wheel into it. And right there, I think he just gets a little too jumpy with the wheel. I think the car straightens out for him, but it's a lot easier to stay up here broadcasting than it is to be down in the car. And man, that's a big shot for Len McNeese. That's huge damage, as that'll be his first fast pair of the night. So we take a couple more looks at this one right here. How about from the wall cam? And Nick Biddy nowhere to go. These guys are running behind Mike Carivo. Things just did not quite pan out. Man, big shot for Len McNeese. Tell you what, these guys were lucky that they were only in a small 4-car pack, because this happens in a main pack. This is collecting a ton of guys, but in this case, manages to only collect a couple. More view of it here from TV5. Man. And so it draws first caution of the night. And I'll tell you what, we went almost 3/4 of this race under green, came up about 5 laps short. But now it makes a whole new strategy, and that becomes the fuel-saving strategy. Not my favorite, but certainly one that can get very interesting to watch. See, we should get the one to go signal right here. Looks like we'll see if we indeed do. Bubba Winningham, Robert Jordan looking to get the wave around. Looks like they will. We do get the one to go. So before we get any further here, looking at the lineup real quick, it's going to be Les Levy. He will restart from first. Tom Dixon second. George Rincon third. Michael Triscaro fourth. And Cody Nagels in fifth. But before we go any further on that thought of fuel and what that strategy is going to look like, let's go see if we can get a word from your final championship Ford driver that's been having the best run of them all so far here tonight. And that is Dana Osborne in the 8 machine. Hey, Dana, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy? And, actually, may have called him at a bad time here. We see him sitting on pit road. What is happening here with the 8? He'll get back rolling here. Give him just a moment, see if we can get him one more time. Hey, Dana Osborne, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good, man. I didn't mean to catch you at a bad time here, but while we're under caution, want to get a quick word. You're looking solid tonight. I mean, you've executed in the draft. You've executed on pit road, but we see a caution here in just about the last quarter of the race. That completely changes the strategy. What's it looking like for you the rest of the way, and how are you going to hold on?
Well, it caught me speeding in that pit right there, so it's put me in the back. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to just lay back and let it play out.
We talk about letting things play out. We see overtime restarts more than a couple times this season. When do you have to kind of make that decision to go to the front and just what happens, happens?
My guess is wait till 10 to go and then go just like Corp Cup, you know how it goes,
Certainly does. Well, I'll tell you what, Dana, appreciate you talking to us real quick. I know you guys are getting ready to go back green. We'll let you go. Good luck the rest of the way. We'll see if you can get the championship.
I appreciate it, guys.
That is Dana Osborne in the 8. Got caught speeding under caution. Well, I'll tell you what, if you got to get caught speeding, it certainly is going to be better to do it under caution than under green. All right, here we go. 22 laps to go at Talladega. Les Levy back into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. Through the gears, dead even so far for Dixon and Levy. And while everybody gets up to speed, caution is going to come back out. And oh no. Dana Osborne is in it, and he has damage. There's the 8 machine, the rear end completely ripped off. As it looks like a couple others involved. Anthony English, Joe Divide, Adam Kilday. And what happened? Probably about 5 seconds after we got the green. Go back under caution. You got to wonder, was it a checkup or somebody miss a gear? It's usually your first thoughts. See something like this, but here we go. We'll go to TV follow, and this is looking like a checkup ordeal. Man, this starts way up there. I mean, like further. All right, so watch Larry Dickerson right here. The 25. The stack up's going to start around this area, maybe just behind him. And yeah, okay, it starts even further back than that. It's actually going to start right. All right, so watch the 55 of Dean Wilkinson. It's really going to get amplified around the 69 of Dusty Burkhart. So we'll go back here, but watch just a little bit to the left of the middle of your screen. That's where the checkup's going to start. We'll play at full speed to show you just how quick things happen here. And so there you go. There's a couple checkups. The 97 of Mike Carrivo has to check up big. Dusty Burkhart checks up Len McNeese. It just keeps amplifying worse and worse out back. And then eventually, as those gaps get bigger, the further back you go, the checkups get bigger. And boy, Dana Osborne looked like he maybe got tagged by Anthony English here, who knew where he could go. He's trying to check up. Kilday gets into him too. And then when he spins up, Joe Divide had already went to the top to try to miss the checkup. He's got nowhere to go and results in major damage for both of those cars. And talked about it's better to speed under yellow, but unfortunately, any sort of penalty could put you in the back, and you could find yourself in a position as Dana Osborne just found himself in right there. So take another look at this one from the spotter view. Man, it's just such a quick checkup. And then Joe Divide trying to miss it. Maybe not the best timing in that case, but you know, if he doesn't spin, it works out. So just one of those hard things. But here's the onboard view, just how quick these checkups occur. Hard on the brakes, hoping everybody can check up. Unfortunately, they just can't. And there's a contact that ensues. Take one more look here from the restart cam. Yeah, that is pretty heavy damage for Dana Osborne. I would not be surprised if that is his first fast pair of the night. Gone here with 20 laps to go, 21. And so back under caution before we really even got 100 yards past the start-finish line. It is Les Levy still leading the way with George Rincon in second. David Overstreet back in third. Michael Triscaro, now currently your highest running of the championship 4. He sits in fourth. Cody Nichols in fifth. Dawson Wise back in sixth. Vicente Guerrero seventh. Dusty Burkhart in eighth. Paul Servin in ninth, and Tom Dixon currently rounding out your top 10. And so now, with that caution, what this does do is makes everybody that much closer on fuel. And I think if you go in right here to top off, I think you're going to be good to go, and I think we'll see a lot of that. But as for Les Levy, does he want to? Well, he may not handle the lead. Depends on what strategy we see. Tell you what, though, George Rincon, boy, he's been doing a heck of a job here tonight. I'm not sure if he's on any of these guys' teams, but nonetheless, we've seen him at the front more than a couple times when we've called his name. Paul Servant, Tom Dixon, and company all up here as well. Looking for some of the guys that needed those couple cautions that we talked about, either were on the lead lap and needed to catch up, or maybe a lap down, a couple laps down, and also needed a couple breaks to have a chance to get back on that lead lap. And I think Larry Dickerson, we'll have to find out once everybody cycles back out, may have indeed got a lap back. It looks like in chat. Mike Davenport says, let's go, Triscaro. Here on Rocks. Appreciate it, Mike. And yes, sir, rooting on Team PGR teammate. We appreciate you tuning out here. So let's Levy off of 4. Again, I believe they are going to be coming to the 1 to go signal. We'll see if he decides to pit right here. And so far, no moves. Is he going to pull a last-second fake? He is not. He is going to stay out. Wow. That's a surprising call for me. I always err on the conservative side. I'm bringing it down here, getting fuel, but A lot of these guys that I guess felt like they saved, you see all the Limitless guys staying out. They feel like they're good to go and they want the track position, especially with incidents that we saw, like the one that just brought out that last caution, checkups on restarts. You don't want to have to deal with any of those. So they are not even going to have to fool with it by staying out right here. So that will indeed give us the 1 to go signal. We'll be going back green this next time. Take a look actually here. Did I believe the... Yep, sure enough. So it's going to be Les Levy lining up with George Rincon in row 1. David Overstreet back on the inside of row 2. Michael Triscaro on the outside of row 2. And Cody Nagels and Dawson Wise rounding out your top 6. I was taking a look here. Just try to see if we could give a little insight on what the schedule was looking like for these guys for the next season. And things are going to get kicked off on February 18th at Talladega Superspeedway. Actually, I take back, the first race is going to get kicked off on February 4th at Daytona in the trucks. That race will be 120 laps. And then schedule-wise, things are pretty similar in terms of lap count after that. The biggest changes for next season's schedule is going to be that the championship race is back at Talladega in the Xfinity, but it'll be 118 laps instead of 80. These guys are also adding Atlanta onto the schedule next season. And as well, they're going to add on the Cup car for a couple races and the ARCA car, which we saw in the All-Star race earlier this season where Robert Jordan got the win. And I thought that was a really, really good addition. So glad to see these guys adding it back. Well, I am a little bit sad to announce. Want to say it on air as we did, of course, in private, that Ghost Racing Network will not be returning to the NSRA Sunday Select Series next season. Just wasn't quite working out the best on both ends of the party in terms of attendance. I get really busy on Sundays sometimes, and fortunately wasn't able to make all the broadcasts for these guys, but appreciate them bringing me on. It's been a great season. I've had a ton of fun. It's a great group of guys. If you're ever looking for a Super Speedway series, look no further. They've delivered week in and week out. They bring the sponsors, they bring the action, and they bring the community. So thank you again, NSRA. Man, let's go out with 20 laps in a bang. Here we go. It's going to be 19 to go officially when we cross the line. Triscaro leading the championship battle. Giffen chasing along with Dickerson and Osborne. Green flag back in the air. 19 laps to go at Talladega. And as everybody's getting through the gears, the 62 of Les Levy going to pull out to an early lead as we tried last time before things get too crazy. How about one more crank it up here at Talladega? Here we go. And that is going to do it for tonight's segment of Crank It Up because we have got way too much action starting to form up at the front. Michael Triscaro thinks it's go time, and he has jumped right out to the third lane, getting support from two of his teammates, Vicente Guerrero and Dawson Wise. Remember, everybody still just about has two faster pairs left, minus just about maybe 5 cars in the field. And with 17 laps to go, we know that everyone's good to go on fuel. So at this point, it is who can get the furthest to the front. You see Alex Giffen third on the inside. Michael Triscaro leading on the top. Further back, Dana Osborne trying to slowly work his way back to the field. He rides side by side with Larry Dickerson. Wow, that was a close call out of turn number 4. Looked like that top line is trying everything to get Triscaro clear, and they're going to do it. Michael Triscaro gets clear of the middle. He'll drop down in front of David Overstreet. Les Levy on the bottom trying to hold position with Cody Nagels. David Overstreet now in position of lead pusher as Michael Triscaro's teammate Vicente Guerrero. He'll get a chance to cool the engine. Dawson Wise now the lead pusher, and how about up top now? The 97 starting to flex some muscle. It's been a tough... Oh, we got 2 turned out back. Didn't save it. No caution yet. There it is. Trying to figure out the exact 2 it was. Wow, big damage for Dusty Burkhart. It looks like Dean Wilkinson as well on the 55. Both of these guys slammed the inside safer barrier. Brings out your 3rd caution of the night now with 16 laps to go. And they got out of shape from about the middle of the pack. And now we go back to the replay to figure out what exactly got them out of shape. So here you go. Burkhart on the inside, Wilkinson in the middle. And, ooh, you see Paul Servant just slightly creeping down. This is going to be a case of right rear netcode. So Burkhart's riding a little bit higher than most of this lane. Not much. Again, he's still in his lane here. Paul Servant comes down just a little bit, but it's the right rear netcode that actually catches the 69, hooks him to the right, gets him into Dean Wilkinson. And now these guys, I mean, there's just nothing they can do. Nick Biddy hard on the brakes. Oh, makes some contact with Dusty Burkhart, but I think he's going to be okay. You see Adam Kilday shoot out of line as well, but boom, there's a big hit for Dusty Burkhart, and then a hit as well for Dean Wilkinson as they just were not able to get checked up to avoid that inside wall. Take a couple different looks at this one here. Man, it's a big shot for Dusty Burkhart. As we talked about there, Dean Wilkinson with nowhere to go either. We really haven't seen the right rear netcode at all tonight. We've seen it a lot throughout the season, that's for sure. So just hard racing there. It's a tough break, but again, doesn't collect any of your championship 4. So Michael Triscaro, that might have actually came at a good time depending on where he was at positioning-wise. Couldn't tell if he was the leader or second. And Burkhart there hard on the brakes, turning the wheel, just at that point nowhere to run here. Run out of racetrack in a hurry. Wilkinson got pretty heavy damage. That'll be a faster pair, I can almost guarantee you, for both of these cars as we take a couple more angles of this one. Burkhart definitely got the worst of it. So he gets back rolling. I'm not sure if he was even able to make it to the pits. Take one more look at this one here from the wall cam. I'll tell you what, though. We talked about Nick Biddy, how close of a call it was for him. So actually, we'll take one more ride with Biddy through this one. So here you go. How about the nose cam? This will show you just how close things get. And again, he's as hard as he can get on the brakes. He can't go low or he's going to get involved with them. He checks up hard and, oh my goodness, boy, if he made contact, it was ever so slight. But again, the rest of the field able to escape this one. So now currently 14 laps to go. It'll be more like 12 when we get the restart, maybe 11. And there you go. Talked about it. The timing may have been perfect. Sure enough, Michael Triscaro being scored as your leader. He is also leading right now that Championship 4 battle. I guess I should say it is, if any of the Championship 4 contenders get the win, they automatically are going to capture that championship, as you can't finish any higher than first. Les Levy in second, David Overstreet in third, Cody Nagels fourth, Vicente Guerrero fifth, Dawson Wise sixth, George Rincon in seventh. He's up 15, by the way, from where he started this race. Joe Divide in eighth. He's up 13. Paul Servant in ninth, and Larry Dickerson, the second highest running at the moment Championship 4 driver. He sits in 10th. So you can see Triscaro's got a good, probably 4 to 5 row gap between him and the next championship contender, but we certainly know Larry Dickerson is not going to give this thing up without a fight. And 14 laps, 12 laps, whatever you want to call it when we go green, that's still a lot of time here to track like Talladega. So don't count out this 25 machine just yet. He can still get himself up there. Going on back to the other two Championship 4, Dana Osborne back in 14th. He's got Alex Giffen just behind him in 15th. Those two still got some work cut out for them as well in these closing laps here. So we'll see if we get the one to go signal this time. Should, as didn't mean to bring the race info up there, meant to exit out of that. And want to head over to our announcement screen real quick, talk about where we head next on Ghost Racing Network. Tuesday night, it is going to be the second race of the round of 16 for Tuesday night thunder back to Daytona International Speedway. It will still be in the Xfinity cars, and Going to be cutting off 8 drivers after that race. Who will make it on to the round of 8 and then fight for a chance to make it to the championship 4? Big payouts for that championship race. So guys going to be fighting hard for it. Make sure you tune out or at least hop in, say hi. As looks like we've had a decent amount of people dropping by here tonight at some point. 15 currently. And again, appreciate everybody that is tuned in at some point or currently tuning in. You're having a good Sunday night. So Michael Triscaro, not much of a choice here. Do you go with 2 teammates on the outside or 2 non-teammates on the inside? And you can take a good guess at which one he picks. Sure enough, he takes the outside. He'll have Vicente Guerrero and Dawson Wise just behind him. And they did indeed get the one-to-go signal, so this will put them back green with exactly 12 laps to go. Again, each caution that we get here is putting more guys back on the lead lap, and it's going to just make the intensity ramp up more and more, as now, with that last caution, everybody's going to be good to go not only on fuel for the rest of the race, but also for both overtimes if we were to need them. And so Michael Triscaro, boy, I know he has got to be feeling nervous right now. Let's take a look at the driver cam. See how he's doing. Still looks pretty calm, cool, and collected, all things considered. I mean, again, he's got 2 teammates behind him, so to a degree, he doesn't have too much to stress about. Just the fact that he is potentially 12 laps away from doing something that I don't know if they've seen done many times in the NSRA Sunday Select Series, and that is a rookie winning the championship. Again, 1 win on the season. Not as much as some of the other guys that we see in the championship 4, but man, if he got a second one tonight, that would be the only one that matters. Let's see what he can do here. So as they come around, Les Levy on the bottom, David Overstreet, those 2 teammates as well. Probably going to stay pretty cozy on the bottom. I don't look to see them making too many moves. It's going to be who sparks this 3rd lane first, and unfortunately for a lot of these guys, just notice clouds are covering the track. Track temp again has dropped. Oh, trouble in the back. Under caution. That was a big check of what happened there. Looks like they're going to reorganize. I think we'll keep it good. We will. Boy, that was a close call, and now you got to watch for the checkups right here. We're going to go to the blimp cam. Nonetheless, here we go back into the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air, one on the apron further back, and even more checkups behind them. But it looks like now they're going to start to get separated. The restart was clean enough, and so through the gears we go. Michael Triscaro with a massive jump as they get down to turn 1. This is where he's got to be careful because watch out on the bottom. Les Levy and David Overstreet, they have gotten locked up, and they are tandeming out of nowhere right now. Trying to get all the way to the front. Is it going to be enough? And still wondering if Levy gets clear. Does he think about jumping up? Still looking for that first win on the season. Does he get it in his own race? Nothing doing yet as they get into turn 3. Michael Triscaro going to hold even. I think he maybe wanted to be clear again by that. Nothing doing, though. Further back, it's Larry Dickerson, the first man to try to spark that 3rd lane. Nothing going yet, but he is going to keep trying. He knows that he's got to. Oh, one spun around. It's the 62 of Les Levy. We got more chaos up front. The 28's around. Huge damage. This will bring the caution out as he slides back up into Dana Osborne. More contact. And we have got a mess. Les Levy gets back rolling. George Rincon is destroyed. Robert Morrison has damage. And what happened coming off of turn 4? Robert Morrison trying to get back going. The 28's able to roll away, but that's going to be a fast pair. Robert Morrison looks like he may have to call in the record service. He does. Man, what happened right there? Let's go back and see if we can take a look. Figure this one out a little bit here. So this is going to start with Les Levy getting spun out of line. I think that's what kind of sparks what ultimately ends up leading to the wreck here. But see what spins him out of line. I think it's going to be his teammate here, David Overstreet, giving him a push, trying to make some progress. And right there, I'll back that up one more time. This one's pretty cut and dry. You can push through the corner, especially in the new damage model update, but you've got to be squared. Now watch Les Levy's car here. Watch where it sits, and you're going to see it move up the track just slightly. Centered, and then as they start to come out of the turn, there's the push. Look at that. Sends him up just a little bit. And so now Overstreet's a bit offset. That turns him down to the inside of the racetrack. I think he picked a good time to do it, though. They were still coming off the turn, so the car isn't fully going down the track. So now he's going to go for the slide, but he's going to lock it down. Spins, tries to straighten it here, gets it back the right way, and I don't think he makes any contact with the wall. That's an impressive save from Les Levy. And as he spins, this may have been for the best because up front, we had pure chaos. Let's try to go and figure out exactly where this starts. We saw George Rincon get the worst of it. And so watch the 28 after they spin. Oh, him and Paul Servant get together. You got to wonder, was there a little bit of netcode right here between these two? So Paul Servant had been pushing the 28. Still looking for a better view of this one here. We'll go to the chopper view and watch the 3 here. Does he just get alongside of him? Yeah, the 3 goes to get 3 wide. I think, again, a little bit of right rear net code. I think Paul Servant maybe was either trying to hop back in line or looked for a little bit of a side draft. But watch this. The cars are never quite going to touch. They get really close, and see, it just turns the 28 around. Now it does hook him across the nose. He's going to get into Cody Nagels, and boy, this thing gets ugly here. Nobody going to miss this one for the most part. Joe Divide gets into it. Larry Dickerson, though, jumps to the inside, waits for the C's to part, gets a little bit of damage. I think overall he's okay. Then Dana Osborne trying everything to check up. He gets a little damage as well. Don't think all in all, though, it was actually too bad for the 8. The 28 sliding up just behind him actually kind of acted as a cushion because he was getting ready to get steamrolled by Robert Morrison. So that certainly helped him out. Larry Dickerson, we talked about, got a little bit of that, but I'm going to show you the onboard here for Dana Osborne, rather the gearbox. Watch this. You'll see what I'm talking about here. As he's trying to check up, he's going to jump to the outside. There comes Robert Morrison. Man, that was going to be a big hit at the 28. Didn't kind of cut him off. So here we go. Let's take a couple different angles of this one here. First off from the TV follow. And just, again, that's been the second netcode that's occurred with Paul Servant tonight. I'm not sure if his connection with some of these guys just has not been what it normally is, but it's a tough break. Again, just nobody necessarily doing anything wrong right there. But here you go. Cody Nagels, nowhere to go. He takes a pretty hard shot, bounces off the outside safer barrier. Then Joe Divide with nowhere to go. This is where the wreck's on. There's going to be a couple hard hits right here as George Rincon slides up. Osborne really did do a good job. I'm not giving him enough credit of how he was able to check up. I mean, he wasn't going to avoid that one. Once he committed high and the 28 was sliding up, there's nothing you can do except try to get the car as woed up as possible and minimize the damage, which is exactly what he did. And it may not be a fast pair for the 8. He's going to have some left and right front damage, but could have certainly been a lot worse. Take a couple more views of this one here. Take a look from the spotter view. They had a good view of this one here as they come right across the tri-oval. Wow, that was a big hit for Tom Dixon. I don't think I saw that one initially either. And Robert Jordan sneaks through. Talked about Larry Dickerson getting pretty minimal damage. Did anybody else sneak through this one off a close call? There's Larry Dickerson. Alex Giffen trying to go through the gap. Nothing there. I didn't realize that he was also involved. So 3 of your 4 championship 4 drivers get damage from this wreck. And there's Dana Osborne. Hard on the brakes, trying to miss it. Just not really anywhere to go. So this will draw in total your 4th caution of the night, and it now brings us under 10 laps to go. Up front, looks like the lights are off on the pace car, so we are getting ready to go back green. Michael Triscaro being scored as your leader, and again, currently the highest running of your championship 4. Vicente Guerrero in 2nd, Dawson Wise 3rd, David Overstreet back in 4th, Nick Biddy in 5th, Russ Hancock 6th, Dean Wilkinson in 7th with Anthony English in 8th, Adam Kilday 9th, and Cody Nagels currently rounding out your top 10. You got to go all the way back to 14th to find currently the 2nd place running driver for your championship 4. And man, they've got a lot of work to do, but Alex Giffen sits in 14th, Dana Osborne 15th, and Larry Dickerson in 16th. This is where you got to kind of say to yourself, these are the best 4 drivers of the season. That's how they got themselves here. And so now, although they're battling each other, do we maybe see the 3 championship 4 outside of the top 10 work together right here to get back to the front in order to have a chance and then battle it out? I think that's what it's going to take if you want to get up here against Michael Triscaro and 2 very strong teammates that he is going to have, one on the outside, one on the inside. And I don't look to see Vicente Guerrero plan on dropping down anytime soon. I think he's kind of up there to act as a pick and maybe try to hinder that 3rd line if they get going. And so now, within 10 laps to go, Michael Triscaro, this is where it's time to start getting nervous, whether he's showing it or not. The nerves are starting to set in, but we'll see if he can get the job done. 8 laps to go. It's a long ways to go, but if we can make it to the white flag 7 laps from now, this race would be official. Levy Design's championship race with a Season 11 championship on the line. Can Michael Triscaro secure it? 7 laps to find out. Green flag is back in the air. I said 7, I meant 8, but here we go. Nonetheless, through the gears, it's a good, even restart. Michael Triscaro, I think he learned from the last one right there, made sure to not get too big of a jump. You want to keep both lanes even. When you start making gaps, that's where you start to get runs, and when you start to get runs, that's where you have to start worrying about another lane for him. Boy, Adam Kilday quickly got right up in front of Joe Divide. You got to wonder if he's thinking through wide here shortly. Down the Alabama gang, super straightaway or super stretch, and already David Overstreet with a move out of absolutely nowhere. Split Vicente Guerrero. That might have been one. Oh, we got wrecked out back. Giffen gets turned hard into the wall. This is going to be the big one at Talladega. Dana Osborne's in it. Tom Dixon as well. Bubba Winningham arrives on scene. He makes some contact. That was the big one, and it's collected all sorts of carnage. Well, you knew it was go time. You knew things were going to get aggressive, and man, we have got some destroyed race cars after that one. Alex Giffen immediately to the pits. That'll be a fast spare if he's got one. And he should, but wow. First of all, we need to go back and take a look at this move by David Overstreet. This was, this might have been one of the best, if not the best move of the season. I don't even think Vicente Guerrero was expecting this. Watch this. For David Overstreet, let's go to TV1. As soon as they rocket off of turn 2, he doesn't stay committed. He says, I'm going 3 wide, and everybody goes with him. I mean, everybody all the way back to Joe Divide jumps up. Trisquero sees that immediately, jumps to the middle to try to support his teammate, but it's just not even close to enough. Overstreet gets clear by a mile before they even get to turn 3, drops low. And that's where you see the carnage all start out back. I saw Giffen as the first guy to get turned around. And so let's see if we can find out exactly what gets him turned around. So here you go. You see Alex Giffen on the inside, about 4 cars. He's kind of in his own lane right here. Not necessarily on the inside, but I think he sees a gap. And so he's, well, yeah, no, that's not what causes the wreck. It's actually a lot of checking up here that initially sparks it. You saw all the fire out of the pipes. Watch it again here. Watch all the fire out of the pipes. There you go. Big checkups. Dixon has to check up. Osborne makes some contact to the back of Dixon, which sends him down into Alex Giffen. That sends both of those cars right back up into Dana Osborne. That's a big hit for Alex Giffen. And then Mike Carrivo with nowhere to go. He piles in, as does Les Levy, Robert Jordan into the outside wall. And then you see diving low to miss it here. The 28 of George Rincon not quite going to be able to escape. And then 71 of Dean Viney T-bones Les Levy. And McNeese up there trying to save it as well. I think he did. Tom Dixon might take another hit to the outside wall right here. No, he'll slide back down. And there's the insult to injury for Bubba Winningham as he makes slight contact. But again, another wreck. This one collects 2 out of your 4 championship 4. Let's take a couple different angles of this. First one from Alex Giffen. This is a blindside hit. These are the worst. Nothing you can do as a driver. And boy, he had nothing to cushion that impact. That did a ton of damage to that car. Take a couple more views. Man, pinched in the wall. He's lucky that car did not get up and over. And then the 97 flying, and Dixon got destroyed. As did Robert Jordan. You saw Larry Dickerson was actually just in front of all this carnage. Just really hard racing there, but again, this is what happens when you start to get desperation. Guys that have to get to the front late in a race from bad circumstances, and so we're seeing the aggression certainly ramp up as what ultimately caused that wreck right there. There's another angle of that hit for Alex Giffen. Man, we've had a couple wrecks here tonight, but this is going to be the new biggest one, and they may only get worse from here. Take one more look at this from on board with Tom Dixon, who we also saw get banged around pretty good from the gyro cam. Here you go. So as he gets back rolling, we go back live. It is now 6, going to be under 5 laps to go for what's going to probably be here the last regular, or maybe I should say the last scheduled distance restart. If we get any more after this, it will send us to our first of 2 overtimes. Michael Trisquero was not able to hold on to the lead. Rather, it's David Overstreet being scored in first. He is up 11 overall from where he started this race tonight. Nick Biddy second, Michael Trisquero third, Anthony English fourth. Dawson Wise rounding out your top 5. Do we get the one to go? Sure enough, we do. So we'll line up, and it will be a 4-lap shootout to crown a champion and a winner here tonight at Talladega. We'll tell you what, David Overstreet, another driver that came up just short of making the final 4, but that move was impressive enough in itself. I want to hear his thoughts on that move. Let's see if we can get a quick word with him. Hey, David, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Austin, how you doing?
Well, I'm good, man. This has been a fun race to watch. I got to ask you, though, that move you just pulled off, I don't know if you realize, but from my view up here, that may have been the move of the season. I don't think anyone expected that. What was going through your head, and how did you pull something like that off?
I was hoping Nick Biddy back there would go with me, and he did. So that move probably wouldn't have worked any other time, but I was kind of hoping he would go with me, and he did. So we'll see what we can do the last few laps here.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I was going to say, we know we're going to crown a champion tonight. We could crown a separate race winner. You got one this season. How you feeling about your chances at 2 right here?
I think we're doing pretty good tonight. Fuel was a little bit of an issue, but we're good now. So let's see if we can stay up front.
All right, David. Well, I appreciate you giving us a quick word. Good luck the rest of the way. We'll see if we're talking to you at the end of this thing.
I appreciate it.
All right, and as we move David Overstreet back down to his teammates, and I actually take it back. I think Anthony English tonight might be working with David and company. But, man, what a move. He said he was relying on Nick Biddy. He got it, and, man, it worked out. Sometimes that's the best moves you make on a super speedway, when you take a risk and you get the reward. All right, here we go. It's going to be Overstreet and Biddy on row 1. 4 laps to go. Triscaro in 4th. Dickerson back in 14th. Giffen in 20th. And Dana Osborne right now back in 21st. Can anybody make enough of a comeback to try to hinder Michael Triscaro? Here we go. 4 laps to go. Back into the restart zone. Green flag in the air. Through the gears. Here we go. Looks like a good restart for David Overstreet. Nick Biddy, though, already getting a push from Michael Triscaro. And Michael Triscaro, this is going to be the most you've seen him push all night, because he knows if he can get that 32 out in front and get him to drop low, he should be home, set sail free, assuming no cautions. But right now, the bottom's still rolling well. The 44 of Anthony English giving a good push. He's one of the best super speedway racers. And how about a lap down for over half of the race? Now it's on the lead lap, potentially fighting for the lead further back. We're already going to start to get some movement, and already going to start to get a 3rd lane going here. Dusty Burkhart, the first man of anybody to jump out, looking for any help. Doesn't look like he's going to get it. Looking even further back, Larry Dickerson. You see him, he's on the bottom. He's going to have to get up if he wants a chance to make a move. Nothing doing just yet. So he will stay down there. Meanwhile, it's Les Levy going up top, maybe looking 4 wide. No, he'll drop back down to 3. Going to get around Burkhart up front. Overstreet and Biddy still side by side. 3 laps to go now at the line. And into turn 1. Michael Triscaro's been doing a lot of pushing. If he's not able to get him clear, he does. Hold that thought. Does Nick Biddy drop down? He doesn't. Michael Triscaro really needed that move. The 34 is going to start to get hot eventually. How far can he make it? Further back, a lot of movement. Oh, Cody Nagels almost got turned. He's able to save it. They all keep it going straight. 3rd line has formed up. Tom Dixon leading, and here comes Larry Dickerson. Over 3 wins on the season. Now he's going to have to show what he's worth. A lot of pushing up top. If these guys can make it 2 more times around, this race will be official. Now it's going to be Dean Wilkinson. He will jump to the top. All of a sudden, the 3rd lane now has 5 cars starting to roll. Michael Triscaro falls back to 3rd as David Overstreet jumps up top. And it's going to be 2 laps to go at the line. Last lap for a caution if we're going to get one. Anthony English and Dawson Wise continue to push on the bottom. Watch for the 34 to jump up to the top if they get there. And again, right now, the only guy he's got to worry about is Larry Dickerson. Alex Giffen and Osborne are back outside the top 20. Michael Triscaro still 3rd in the middle. David Overstreet, oh, he got one off. Vicente Guerrero saves it. He's going to come back on. This will cause more chat. Now he's going to get turned. Back into the pack. They wreck going into turn 3. The 343 of Russ Hancock goes around. Joe Divide's in it. Les Levy. Caution is out, and we are headed to overtime. Tom Dixon comes to a halt below the yellow line on the apron. The 97 of Mike Carrivo is involved in this one as well. And I got to be honest, you just kind of didn't think these guys were going to make it there. The aggression was just getting too crazy. And, man, I don't know if Michael Triscaro wanted to see that caution or he didn't. I'm going to say he might have wanted to here, because you see he's going to actually get trapped here in the middle. So here we go. Let's go down to what causes this caution. Actually, this was an old one, so take that back. Triscaro may still have wanted to get up, but go to the chopper view first here to find out exactly what caused it. We saw Vicente Guerrero get sent off the track. Wasn't sure exactly what caused it. So here we go. Watch the 14 Vicente. When he comes back up, looks like, are they going to happen? No, I mean, yeah, he gets He gets back up clean. It looks like the 97 of Mike Carrivo's giving him the lane. So Vicente comes up, the 97 goes out, and then what? Man, it's a kind of a tough one there. It looks to me like the 97 maybe comes down a little bit, but it also looks like the 14 goes up a little bit. Yeah, maybe the 14 going a little bit more up than the 97's coming down. And once they come together, there's no netco there. That one's full on contact. Sends him into the 343 of Russ Hancock. And then up into the 55 of Dean Wilkinson. There's Tom Dixon. Larry Dickerson, again, hard on the brakes, trying to miss this one. And yet again, looking like the C's are going to split for him, and that's exactly what they do. Look at that gap open up. 25 is going to try to shoot right through. We did get some damage right there as Dusty Burkhart came back up, but about the ride for Vicente Guerrero as he gets up along the catch fence. Going through 3 and 4. Take a couple views of this one. First off, from the cockpit of Vicente Guerrero. And man, he tried to wheel out of it. Then unfortunately got caught again in the later part of the wreck. And there you go, gets up along the safer barrier. Couple hard hits in this one as you see hood and debris flying everywhere. Les Levy got sent down to the inside wall. He's not going to miss that. And that's the big impact. 14 almost rolls over. You see Dean Viney also involved in the 71. Cody Nagels is going to stay low here and not sustain any more damage, but he certainly got a good amount of it. But let's try it on board here with Larry Dickerson. Again, talked about it as a little bit of damage. I didn't think it was too bad for the 25, but let's go on and take a listen here and find out. And I think Dusty maybe just didn't realize that he was up there at that point. Again, everybody trying to just miss the wreck, but don't think it's too bad. I think Larry should be okay. As we'll take 2 more angles for this one. First one from the wall cam. I'm on one for TV6 right here. Shows you the contact from behind. Joe Divide with nowhere to go, but everybody out back of it behind it was able to do a pretty good job checking up, including Robert Morrison, to try to minimize whatever damage. And then there you see George Rincon trying to go low. So Larry Dickerson escapes while it brings out our 6th caution of the night. Again, we talked about going to send us into that first overtime. We only have 2, and it's a green-white checkered, so we take the green. If we make it to the white, this race will be official, and we will race it back to the start-finish line. However, if the caution comes out on that first lap due to a wreck, we'll rack them up, and we have 1 more try at it. And a lot of these guys I know would not like to see this race end under caution tonight of all nights. Let's see if they can all keep it clean. So, looking like the lineup is going to be David Overstreet, followed by Michael Triscaro, Nick Biddy in 3rd, Anthony English in 4th with Paul Servant in 5th, Dawson Wise in 6th, Adam Kilday 7th, Larry Dickerson in 8th, George Rincon in 9th, and Cody Nagels rounding out your top 10. Do we get the one to go right here? Yeah, it looks like we do. So going back here, Nick Biddy, Anthony English, 3 guys, and David Overstreet, of course, the 3 guys in front of Michael Triscaro. Larry Dickerson, though, the main one that he's keeping an eye out for right now, and he's only a row back. I should say, I guess 2 rows back from that 34. Michael Triscaro's got a teammate in Dawson Wise separating him and Larry Dickerson. I think the other good news here, though, is that Larry Dickerson has Cody Nagels behind. Cody will not jump up with that 25 if he goes high. He'll stay low to support his teammates, so Larry Dickerson going to have to find it from someone else. The question is just who, and you can never count these things over, right? I mean, even if Triscaro is way in front here at the end of this thing, if he gets caught up in a last lap wreck, it could bring his night to an end, and maybe we see someone such as Giffen or Osborne, who's back in 24th, drive through this wreck and steal the championship. That is all the crazy outcomes that we have seen. We've seen it before, but remember, Cody Nagels, that crazy comeback he made, it came in an overtime, so do not count out Dana Osborne or Alex Giffen just yet. Osborne, a lot of work in 24th. Actually, I think he is out of it. And I just actually realized that, so I apologize if I was maybe beating the dead horse. But, yeah, I think unfortunately he may have had to use both fast pairs, so that will bring an end to the championship hopes for the 8. Dana Osborne, man, it was a solid season he put together. Alex Giffen and the 99, the lone horse back here, doesn't have another championship contender nearby. And he's going to be trying to scratch and claw his way up through the field here. He sits in 17th, and he is going to get all the way up to 4th as it stands right now. Here we go, off of turn 4, potentially for the final time under pace here tonight. Is it going to be the final restart of Season 11 for the NSRA Sunday Select Series? Here we go. Pace car is going to pull off. David Overstreet and Nick Biddy with the field in tow. Who is going to get the win tonight at Talladega? Who are we crowning the championship? Two laps to find out. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. 2 laps to go at Talladega. Another good even restart. Neither lane really getting a big jump. The bottom maybe with a little bit of a better start, but the top 2x2 tandem already. Nick Biddy, Michael Triscaro trying to get something going. Robert Morrison quickly going to jump out 3 wide. Keep an eye on the 25 of Larry Dickerson. You know he's going to make a move. The big question is who and where is he going to find the help from? As they race on to the Talladega backstretch for the first time under this restart. Wilkinson's going to jump out. So is Nagels. I thought Dickerson would make the block. He's not able to make it in time. Further back, Mike Carrivo is going to jump to the bottom. Dickerson's going to get trapped. 4th back in the middle. Nothing doing as Michael Triscaro currently still sits 2nd in the middle. David Overstreet leading. He is getting another big push right now from Anthony English. And remember, if these guys can make it to the start-finish line this time, this race will be official. Paul Servant trying to make it 4 wide right here. This is a really risky move. This puts a lot of guys in a bad position, but now they're going to get back to 3 wide. Not sure how that all worked, but now white flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. Oh, a little bit of contact. Everybody trying to save it. Scattering everywhere. The top really rolling. Oh, Triscaro gets turned down. He saves it. They're wrecking big out back. Upside down goes Anthony English up front. It is Michael Triscaro. Looks like Larry Dickerson did not pull through. And at this point, all the 34 has to do is drop in line and ride. Race for the lead is on. Nick Biddy, David Overstreet, Adam Kilday, and Michael Triscaro. Who is going to win it all? And man, I know Michael Triscaro wants it, but you got to be careful here. You've got the championship locked up. Keep it clean all the way to the checkered. Out of 4, he is going to lose that spot, but he doesn't care. Overstreet's going to jump out looking for a final move on Biddy. Overstreet to the inside, almost some contact. He backs up a little more contact. It's a drag race to the line. They bump, they bang. It's David Overstreet. He wins the race, and Michael Triscaro wins the championship in a last lap thriller. Oh my goodness. What a finish. He wins it. David Overstreet wins it. That is by looks like maybe less than 100th of a second over Nick Biddy. And boy, he's going to celebrate that one. Michael Triscaro is pumped about it, and he certainly should be. Man, oh man. See if we get a little double burnout action right here. So it's David Overstreet, your winner, and your championship. Season 11 champion is going to be Michael Triscaro in the 34 car. And, well, he's showing it on camera now. I don't know if we're allowed to post it or not, but he's got him a drink. He's pumped about it. Man, I don't think we can do virtual shotguns, but how about it for Michael Triscaro? Man, oh, man. And we're going to see more than just 2 burnouts here. Looks like Michael's teammates are going to come over here and burn it down as well. There's David Overstreet in the 46. The veteran adds his 2nd win to the season. And I don't have enough cameras for this. Trying to get all these guys in frame. The spotter view, I think, is going to do it enough justice. We're going to see at least 2, if not 3, 4 burnouts. But it is Michael Triscaro, your champion. As these guys all continue to burn it down and celebrate, we'll get more from them here in just a moment. Let's take a look at your finishing results here for the night. Then we got to go take a look back at that last lap. There was some wild stuff that went on. David Overstreet is the man that gets the job done. He gets his 2nd win of the season in the final race of the season. Nick Biddy brings home 2nd. Adam Kilday in 3rd. Michael Triscaro 4th with Les Levy in 5th. Larry Dickerson in 6th. Russ Hancock in 7th with Cody Nagels in 8th. Mike Carrivo in 9th. Vicente Guerrero rounding out your top 10. Alex Giffen brings home 11th. It's going to be Dawson Wise finishing 12th, George Rincon in 13th, Paul Servant in 14th with Anthony English in 15th, Dean Wilkinson in 16th with Robert Morrison finishing back in 17th, Dean Viney 18th, Bubba Winningham in 19th, Len McNeese rounding out your top 20. 21st, Tom Dixon. 22nd, Joe Divide. 23rd, Dusty Burkhart. 24th, Robert Jordan with Dana Osborne in 25th. And last but not least, Brian Kaufman. He rounds out your field in 26th here tonight. All right, well, normally we go get your top 3 for interviews, which we are going to do. Make sure you stick around for those. But before we do that, I mean, we have got to go take a look back at this whole finish. I mean, if this was not a championship race, believe me when I say there would have been even more emphasis on this finish. This was a wild finish, classic Talladega style. But here we go. Let's go back and watch this entire last lap because the amount of things that went on was more than enough. Here we go. We saw a huge wreck down here in 1 and 2, and what's going to spark it there? You see a lot of bobbing and weaving, everybody trying to hold on, and there you go. Contact between Paul Servant and Cody Nagels. Boy, Triscaro had a wicked save. That right there saved his chances at this race. If he gets involved in that, it's over. But there's the big hit as Anthony English gets up and over into the catch fence. He goes. Man, that was a brutal hit for the 44 of Anthony English. Comes back down. And as all these guys wreck, look at all the ones that get involved here. Nobody seems to have really drove through. Les Levy sneaks through, but it's up front is where the race is on. And right here, man, Michael Triscaro, I know the inner racer in him wanted to keep going, try to win this thing, but this is where I'm telling you, I can promise you the teammates in there were screaming, Mike, let them go. It doesn't matter. Do not get yourself in a wreck. You got no one around. Don't cost yourself it. And I think he might have finally realized that at a turn 4. Overstreet, on the other hand, right here, he says, I want to win this thing. Jumps to the outside. Biddy throws a block. He says, okay, I'll go back to the inside. Beautiful move. Kilday goes with him. Gets him onto the apron. They come up. They bump. They bang. It's a drag race all the way to the start-finish line. The bottom, though, with a little bit more help. And, boy, he edges him out, but not by much. There is your margin of victory. Probably about a quarter of a car length for David Overstreet. And, man, oh, man, what a finish it was. Take a look at the results again there. There's your official gap, by the way. Looks like actually just over 100th of a second. It's how much David Overstreet won by. Still not that much, but man, what a great race. We are going to go get interviews from your top 3, including your winner, David Overstreet, and then also your championship winner, Michael Triscaro and 4. Stick with us. Be right back. Back live at Talladega Superspeedway. Going to start the post race here with your 3rd place finisher, Adam Kilday in the 85. Adam, you got a copy?
She did.
All right, make sure that I go ahead and get you unmuted. Well, I'll tell you what a thriller of a finish. You make it through the big wreck. You set yourself up in position, and how did you make the decision on who you wanted to push? And was there any thought of maybe taking it 3 wide, seeing if you couldn't steal one for yourself?
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to have the momentum to take a 3 outside of Biddy. I saw David dive down below him, and I decided to jerk the wheel down to the left and try to help him out. Glad David got the win. That's super cool. Seeing him finish off the season with the victory.
Well, it was a strong season for the 85 machine. And, man, I'll tell you what, I've seen you in a couple different super speedway leagues. You always bring speed here. But overall, to kind of wrap up your season, how'd you feel about it? And how are you going to carry the momentum from this last race into next season?
Shoot. I mean, I don't know. I'm just here to kind of just drive around and just try to have a good time, all in all. If wins come, they come. Or if I got a spot in the playoffs, I'll probably, amp up the performance or whatever the case may be to move on through the rounds in the playoffs. But really, I'm just here to have a good time with the dudes and all. So, but yeah, I mean, that about sums it up, honestly.
Well, a great job on the 3rd place finish here tonight. Before we let you head out, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out for the final time this season?
Yeah, definitely Les and David Overstreet and all the guys, the admins in this league that throw on the races every Sunday night and give us the entertainment, that we can all enjoy one time out of the week, so they try to keep things civil as much as they can and try to keep a good atmosphere in this league. So I respect that, but yeah, it's, I think this is my first top 3 in NSRA. I think it is. I may have gotten second, but I honestly can't remember. I'll take this as my first podium, so we'll do that.
Congrats again on the 3rd place finish. Thank you for talking to us, and congrats on a good season.
Heck yeah, man. Appreciate it. You have a good one, dude.
You as well. All right, that'll move us now on to your 2nd place finisher here tonight, Nick Biddy. Hey, Nick, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Austin. How's it going, bud?
Good. Well, a good run tonight. First thing I got to ask you, the move that you and David Overstreet decided to make on the previous restart before this last one of the best moves I've ever seen. How did you guys decide on that? And then tell us about the racing at the end. Could you have done anything different to hold them off?
That was just pure dumb luck. I was trying to be a nice guy and push the 46 to a win, and guess we had a little caution break up there. The racing at the end, man, I needed one more push. I needed some help. My teammates were back in the pack a little bit, so maybe next time one of those guys can be up there with us and we can get pushed across the finish line here.
We know that you couldn't make a full-time appearance, at least not for every race up the season, but the appearances you made, good finishes for the most part. You get a really good one here tonight. You come home 2nd. How do you carry this momentum on to next season?
Hey man, we're just it's like they say, if you want to be good at it, you got to be behind the wheel, right? So we'll just stick after it, keep plugging away.
Sounds like a plan. Well, before we let you head out tonight, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shut out for the last time this season?
Yeah. One more time, want to say thank you to my beautiful smoking hot wife, Jessie Biddy. Without her, we wouldn't be doing this. My kids, thank you, Cameron, Coley, and Cora, for watching. And my sponsors, Murph Dog Enterprises. It's a human boy company. Thank you for all you do with the paints and the and the food and the league entries. And also thank you to Ada Smith's allergy clinic. We don't have her on the car right now, but we will soon, and I want to thank her for all the sponsorship stuff that she does. So, yeah.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for talking to us, and congrats again on the 2nd place finish. Good luck next season.
All right, yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And there you go, your 2nd place finish. Now, that leads us on to your winner, David Overstreet. David, this is Austin. You got a copy?
Hey, I got you.
Well, you get the 2nd one at the end of the season, and man, I feel like you kind of had to after that amazing move that you put on. You had to finish it off with something even better. Classic Talladega finish. You beat, you bang, coming to the line. Walk us through the mindset coming off of 4, how you decided to make the move, and how ultimately you're able to fake him out and beat him at the line.
Yeah, I thought I made a pretty good move coming to the outside. Then he blocks. I went low, and he started coming down, so I just turned to the right. So then we had a heck of a battle coming to the line. I was really surprised I was able to beat him there. So it's a great way to finish the season, though.
Yeah, it certainly was. 2 wins on the season. You weren't quite able to make the championship appearance this season, but a good season overall. Tell us how you're feeling about it, and what are you going to get done next year to make it that last stretch to the Final Four?
Yeah, I'm really proud of this season. Thanks to all the guys that come out here week after week and make it what it is. And we'll see if we can do a few spots better next season. We'll take a couple weeks off and we'll start racing some recruitment races and be back ready for next season on the 1st of February.
Sounds like a plan. Well, thank you for talking to us. Before we let you head out, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out for the final time this season?
Special thanks to you for doing an outstanding job broadcasting. If you ever need somebody to broadcast your races, look you up, because I would highly recommend you. Thanks to all the admins that help me behind the scenes, and thanks to everybody that comes out every Sunday and races with us.
All right, well, we appreciate you talking to us again. David, congrats one more time on that 1st place finish. Good luck next season.
All right, thank you.
All right, and now that is going to set us up. Give me just a moment. We got to get him up on the big screen. He is a happy man right now, and rightfully so. It is your race winner. Not race winner. Even better, championship winner, Michael Triscaro in the 34. Let's see if we can bring him in here. Hey, Michael, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do, boss. What's up, man?
Well, there you go. Season 11 champion. You do it in your rookie season. How you feeling right now, first off?
Oh, man, I'm catching my breath still, man. That was a crazy race, a wild finish, a lot of emotions there in the final laps, and man, I'm just, like I said, catching my breath still. It's crazy, but I am pumped up, man. I am jacked up right now.
Well, let's talk about that final lap. First of all, you hold on to a wicked save just to keep it straight. Race could have went up in flames right there, but then, man, it looked like you were still in it. It looked like you wanted to win it. Were the teammates screaming at you to just stop racing them and drop in fourth?
Yeah, I wasn't sure where Milk Dud Dickerson was, so I was talking to him. I was like, "Is he in the wreck? Was he in the wreck?" And I heard he was not. So I thought he might have been the wreck, the red and black car that was kind of third in line. So I'm pinching those guys tight, man. I had no idea. And then we come out of 4, and Cody said, "Hey, he's in the wreck." I'm like, "Oh my God!" So I kind of laid off there, man, and took that 4th place, took that championship, man. That was crazy.
We talk about momentum. You only finished with 1 win on the season, but you bring home the championship due to consistency. Tell us about the season overall with that consistency and how you can bring that on to next season.
Yeah, man, we run a tight ship over here at Limitless. I got to thank those guys first, Cody Neagles, for just getting me in this league, helping me out. Dawson Wise, Robert Morrison, Robert Jordan, Tom Dixon tonight, man, Vicente Guerrero. I mean, it's awesome to run with those guys. You're running with your buddies. It's a little bit different than the money racing scene, man. And, we're just a consistent team. We are really good on pit stops. We have great strategies. And without those guys, man, I couldn't do this. So the championship's for them. So to Limitless tonight, baby.
Well, you saw a teammate get it done last season. You get it done this season as a rookie. Before we let you head out to celebrate, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, man, you got me on the webcams right now?
Yes, sir.
All right, so unfortunately, my wife's uncle Greg Santarelli, I honored him tonight. So did a couple of my teammates. We put a little banner on our cars. He's in bad health today and might not make it. So prayers to him and to my mother-in-law and everybody in the family. I was thinking about him tonight racing this. They didn't really know I was going to do that, and I sent it to them before the race. So I was thinking about him in those last laps. We got that right there, baby. That 12, 17, 23, season 11 champion, number 34, baby. We love you, Uncle Greg. Thanks to my teammates as well. We got a little high noon. We're going to celebrate here in Cleveland, Ohio, baby. What?
And there you go. That is your season 11 champion, Michael Triscaro. Michael, thank you so much for talking to us. Congrats again on the championship.
Oh, wait, one more thing. Paul Servant, that guy's got to get out of here.
All right. Well, thank you for talking to us, and good luck next season, Michael.
All right. Take care, man.
There you go. Hey, he's amped up, and he's got the right to be. He is your season 11 champion. A couple more things before we head out. Man, what a great season. What a great race. A great win as well for David Overstreet. And, oh, man, want to give one more thanks to all the NSRA guys that run it, especially David Overstreet and Bubba Winningham for all they did. Thank you guys for having me on board. As always, I hope everybody that tuned out enjoyed. I thank you all for tuning out. And for the final time for the NSRA Sunday Select Series, have a good night.